What is good, boxing fans? It's your boy Fight Night's Finest, back with yet another fight review. This one of the Canelo Alvarez versus Erislandy Lara fight. I'm joined here by two of my closest friends on YouTube. We got the boy Dave the Rip One, and of course my co-host on many live streams, and also another great YouTuber, Arachnid So.
What's good, boxing fans? Once again, it is your co-host, Arachnid Soul. It is your host, Fight Night's Finest, and it is Dave, and I'm not even going to say it, Dave the Rip One, Fight Night. Let me ask you about this fight. You went into this fight, you were saying it was going to be close. Now, we're not going to talk about the end yet, but let's talk about how this fight started. How did you see the opening 2 rounds?
Well, I saw the opening round definitely went for Lara. The footwork definitely gave Canelo a lot of trouble. And the second round was one of those toss-up rounds. Canelo got a lot more aggressive in the first minute and a half of the fight, of the second round. And then afterwards, Lara kind of took back control of the fight in the last minute to 30 seconds. So I think for me, the second round is one of the most crucial rounds of the entire fight based on how you score it. Because as the fight goes down the entire round, I look at round 12 and round 2 as the big toss-up rounds that you can give to either fighter. What about you, Dave?
I thought Lara pretty much dominated the first half of the fight. I mean, the second round was close, but you could see that Canelo was easily getting frustrated. He was throwing a lot of wild shots, and just by him picking him up, you know, the couple times that he did, you could see that he was getting frustrated.
So this was the first fight that Dave the Rip One actually kind of live tweeted out on tweet. He just started his Twitter account at Dave the Rip One, number 1, not the word 1. You know, and I'm looking at Dave's tweets, I'm looking at Fight Night's tweets, I put some stuff out. We were all pretty much in agreement. But one thing I got to talk about is the body work. We saw Canelo bringing the body work the whole fight. The amazing conditioning on the part of Lara that's not talked about, not only because he was eating a lot of punches, which he did say after the fight, you know, those body shots weren't really affecting him. He's eating those body shots, the kidney blows, the shots to the obliques and the gut. But at the same time, he's an outside fighter, so he's moving around, and I hope somebody tomorrow is talking about that and not just the fact that the point spread was ridiculous at the end.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those moments where it's like, I even talked about that in round number 6 to you when we were sitting down and we was watching the fight. I said, you know, if Canelo's hoping he's going to go to the head and try to knock this guy out late, or if he's going to be able to get some more headshots landed, it's not going to work with the amount of body work that he was doing. He had very good spots where he was able to land body work. But if you want to judge a fight, I think the key things that you have to look at is who's dominating the round for the most part. And you just can't score the fight based off clean and effective punches, which is what I feel most of these judges do nowadays. Is you see a good shot come in, and we've seen this with previous fights where it was previous fights that happened where only one person will land a good shot. For example, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Brian Vera. He'll land a good shot, but then Brian Vera will come back with some good combinations, but you'll give the entire fight to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. just due to the fact he landed an effective shot. For me, it's like you have to not only land in good spots, which I felt Lara did do for the most part during the fight. We saw that straight left hand connected multiple times, that basic 1-2, and then we even saw the counter right hook starting to come into play in the 5th and 6th round. But it just got to the point where it was like he started to fall off. After round 6 for me, there was a lot of rounds from that point on that I gave to Canelo just due to the fact Lara started to move a lot more and didn't throw as much. So that's the main reasons why I started to give Canelo more rounds. What about you, Dave?
Exactly, man. Like after that cut, there was a large stretch of rounds where he just moved around. He wasn't really working, and Canelo was the only one working. So I mean, if you're the only one working and nobody's really landing shots, you have to give it to the guy that's trying to pressure the fight. I think, anyway.
I mean, I gotta say one thing about the judges, though. I think what they need to do, and you know, I'm a guy. I've spent a lot of time in Vegas. I'm in Vegas right now. There's a huge Mexican community. Most of my friends out here are Mexican. Obviously, a guy like Canelo is going to have a lot of support out here. I remember growing up out here, and it used to be De La Hoya, who we saw him in Canelo's corner, Golden Boy and all that. What they might need to do, I understand you've got the judges at ringside. Maybe you need to put them in like some type of soundproof booth. Maybe you need to turn the lights down on the fans. because I think some of this stuff really does get inside the judges' heads, and they start leaning away based on outside factors that have nothing to do with what's going on in the ring.
I agree with that. Go ahead, Dave.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
It's like, for me, that last judge, 117 to 111, absolutely ridiculous. I had the fight a draw. I had it 6 rounds apiece for both fighters. I can see 115, 113 for Canelo. I can see 115, 113 for Lara. Like I said, that second round, that could have went to Lara. And then for my scorecards, also, I gave Lara the 12th round, but that's a round that could possibly go to Canelo. So either way, based on how I changed my scores from either round 2 or round 12 will determine who will get a win. But I had to fight a draw. What about you, Dave?
I had to fight either a draw or Canelo very, very slightly. I didn't see Lara really doing, like, I don't know. He had effective combinations, but he just didn't work enough. Like, he just moved around too much for me. And there was too many rounds where that was the case.
Yeah, I kind of felt like the work rate that Lara brought was a little lackluster, but I kind of think that was intentional. He's a guy, he's comfortable on the outside, right? Now he's going into this, and all the hype and all of the thought, and we even heard Canelo talk about this after the fight, they thought it was going to be a slugfest. So if everyone thinks it's going to be a slugfest, maybe you do go in with a different strategy. Unfortunately, what was sometimes really brilliant defense on the part of Lara, at other times was him on his bicycle running around. So when we talk about how I thought the fight was going to be scored, I kind of thought, I thought maybe by a point Lara might have it won, but I said the judges are going to give it to Canelo because you've got, everybody in the crowd. There's that feel of, if you're Mexican in Vegas, it's almost like a hometown feel. I know, I grew up out here. I thought, okay, they're going to give it to Canelo, but I didn't think anybody was going to be like Judge 3, who, I don't know, maybe he was on his phone playing real boxing and that's what he was scoring, or he was on his phone watching another fight. I don't know what that guy was watching, but that point spread was way too wide.
Yeah, it always seems to be, and I noticed this is a recurring factor in most boxing fights. There's always that one guy who's judging the fight either 117 to 111 or 117, 112, or it's always that one judge with the outrageous score. Every single fight that's been going down recently, or these big fights where somebody needs that, that extra push, there's that judge with the ridiculous scorecard. And that's something it's a common trait. I don't know if you guys noticed this as well, but anybody in the comment section who watches boxing, I'm pretty sure you're seeing the same thing. It's always this outlandish scorecard by either the first judge or the last judge. It's never usually the middle judge, but somebody's always in the pocket of one of the camps. Always.
Right. Well, it's usually not going to be the middle judge because, there is that aspect of showmanship, and we're here to entertain. So the middle judge has to be the guy who, usually called it the most accurately. He's in the middle, and then people are going to pay attention. They're going to say, oh my God, what did the third judge say? And they'll hang on, and it's that epic feel. So I think that's what happens there. Also, I think a lot of the time with the third judge, and I've said it before, the boxers have no idea who's going to win. I think sometimes a judge or two might go in, and they might in their heads know who's going to win, and they're going to try to make that happen, try to get a rematch, or try to make the more profitable decision. And I know it's kind of controversial, but like you said, we're seeing more and more of these really kind of BS calls.
Yeah, you can definitely take a look at this with Mayweather versus Canelo. That first judge having a fight a draw was absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that somebody could find a round to give Canelo in that fight was even more ridiculous. But let us know what you think in the comment section below. I'm going to let my boy Dave the Rip One close this one out. It's been your boy Fight Night's finest, the Sofa Commentator, and I'm off this. Peace.
Yeah, just back to the judges. There's always seems to be that one what the fuck moment. But another point about the fight, I just think that somewhere down the fight he was moving well, but he said those body shots didn't connect. They didn't have any effect, but you definitely saw him slow down in the middle parts of the round after he got cut. So I don't know. It was a good fight overall, and thank you to Fight Night's finest and Interacting Soul for letting me be on this review, and I'm out. Peace.